Today I'm just going to talk through the fridge that I ordered for my pub shed. Ordered it about a year ago, but the purpose of this really is to just answer honestly some of the questions that I had when I was looking at ordering mine. So I chose the Subcold 85 LED under counter fridge. First of all, what I'll do is run through some of the features and the marketing spec, and I'll just talk through what I think of each of them things. So it says it's got a capacity of 85 litres. All the fridges are measured in litres in terms of capacity, which didn't mean a massive amount to me. They converted that into 80 330 millilitre cans, 5 bottles of wine. It's got this wine rack here. So I thought that was probably going to be enough for me. You've got 5 wire shelves, and there, another one of the things was how durable they are. And you can see that one's loaded up with the bottles there. Although they might bend a little bit if you put a lot of weight on them, they do spring back. They're pretty sturdy. But these 5 shelves, they all come out, so you can just slide them out. I'm not going to do that now because there's the cans in there, but you can see that they just slide out easily, and you can change the configuration really quickly. So for example, I don't always have this in there. It's good for bottles of wine. I've got quite a few bottles in at the minute, so I'm just using it for those. But I can take that out and then just show you these kegs. So one of these kegs would fit on that shelf. You can't really see it too clearly, but there's enough clearance there to get a couple of perfect draft kegs, or a blade keg on its one single blade keg on its side in there. So there's more than enough space for me. At the moment there's about 24 bottles and about 24 cans in there, and as you can see there's space there. There's a bit of space there. I could definitely squeeze more on that shelf. So in terms of capacity, I've had no real issue with it. The only thing I will say on capacity is that if you have it in this configuration here with the bottles, you can't really stand them up. So these taller cans, they won't quite fit. So as you can see there, the taller cans are either on the side or on that shelf at the bottom there, which you can put 440 millilitre cans stood upright, no issue. There's probably about space for about 10 on that bottom shelf. So I built the bar after I'd ordered the fridge because I wanted all the measurements, and I did originally think about putting a double fridge in, pushing the bar that way a little bit, but that would have left me with less space that side. And what put me off, big thing that did put me off, was the amount of noise. So them fridges are a lot more industrial. The double fridges are designed for pubs, most of them that I saw. It said that they were noisy and they weren't really suitable for a home environment. So the next thing is the space that it actually takes up. So on the site it said it was 474 millimeters wide, 434 deep, and 844 millimeters high. Now what sometimes happens with these things is that they measure it to a different point. So I've found sometimes there's something hanging over the back or whatever, and as you can see here there's a hinge on the door. Well, with this, the measurements were actually true to what was in the marketing materials, so including things like this where the hinge stands up at the tallest point, it comes to 844. The next thing is the temperature range. So it says that it's got a temperature range of between 3 and 18 degrees. I've got it on setting 3 at the minute. It's adjustable down here at the bottom, right at the back behind these. See if I can get this up on the camera. So down there, that's how you adjust it. I've got that on setting 3. The only sort of negative, I suppose, it's been on setting 3 all along, and there is a little bit of ice build up. It's only happened a couple of times in the year that I've had it, so it's not a major thing. It's got a light here at the top. It does look great when it's lit up. And then there is a lock at the bottom. Not that I've used that, but there's a lock there should you need it. One other thing I should mention, it did say on the marketing materials that this is one of the most efficient in its class. It says it only uses 70 kilowatts of energy per year, which is great, particularly now with energy prices rising. And the big thing for me, obviously over and above the capacity, which was incredibly important, was the noise. You can probably hear that is as loud as it gets, and that is with the motors kicking in, because I've had the door open. It's either silent or when the motors kick in, it's really not noticeable. If you're in here having a conversation with someone, you wouldn't notice it at all. So here's a little test to how loud it can get. It's less than 40 decibels. It claims on the site to be 41 decibels, but I think they're doing themselves a disservice there. Although 41 decibels is quiet, I think it's even quieter. I've never noticed it at all. It's incredibly quiet. Okay, so really pleased with it. Overall, it's got the right balance between the amount of space that it takes up within the bar versus the capacity of what it actually holds. It's deadly silent, and it looks great. I think it's a really good buy. I've had it a year. I'll post the link in the description below. I hope you found it useful. If you did, give it a like. If you've got any questions, just post them in the comments.